Shalom. I'm going to begin shuffling to prepare for the final quarter reading. Every month there are 4 readings on my YouTube channel for the collective consciousness, and they go according to the moon. It doesn't necessarily have so much to do with the moon, as much as the moon is just a marker, a reference point for us to connect to the all, the light of the all, because everything reflects the original light, and the moon reflects the light in 4 quarters. It helps to give us a platform which we can build upon. And so that is why I use the light of the moon to do these readings. I'm not particularly a moon worshiper. I just wanted to explain that. The reason I use the moon is because it has 4 quarters, and the 4 worlds of creation are very important to me. And I often speak about the multidimensionality of the 4 worlds of creation and how they relate to our being. Thank you everybody for tuning in for this reading. This is the 4th reading for this moon cycle, so it's the last one for this cycle. After this will be the new moon, new beginning. So what is the final quarter all about? This period and this reading is all about what just happened on the full moon, everything that came to the light under the fullest light of the moon, everything that was revealed, everything that came up. Now is the period of integration. How are we integrating everything that was revealed under the light of the full moon? How are we actively, inwardly and outwardly preparing for the new moon? That's what this reading is about. Why do I call these readings activations? Because that's exactly what they are. The answers are already inside of you, inside of us, and all we're doing is kind of clearing away the extraneous stuff, pulling out only that which is relevant and putting it in a particular order to make it the most understandable. And when we do that, when we lay the cards out on the table, it acts as a map. The layout becomes a map for us to move through this part of the cycle with the most efficiency, with the most grace and ease, without crisis. So wherever you're at right now, whatever your energy is, acknowledge it. Whatever your energy has been throughout the day, acknowledge it. Acknowledge it like it's a little child that wants to be heard, whatever's there. And then let it go. Just for this moment, at least just for this moment. Because we're going to ask a question here, and then we need to create the space for the answer to enter. If we just keep asking, we'll just keep asking, and we won't create the space necessary for the answer to enter. So, first we clear. Let it go. As you clear, I'm going to finish up here shuffling. Okay, what are we asking of the archetypes right now? What are we asking the cards to show us for this final quarter, last quarter moon reading? Okay. Archetypes, faces of the one. We are asking that you reveal to us anything that we perhaps overlooked under the light of the full moon. What did we miss? Is there anything we missed? If so, please show us. Also, please show us hints, give us hints how we can best integrate everything that was revealed on the full moon. How can we close up this cycle in a way that we make sure we tie up all loose ends, we don't bring in any old stuff into the new cycle. Please guide us and give us some archetypal wisdom so that we can be the best version of ourselves as individuals and as a collective unit as we move through this last part of this cycle and then on to the next. Okay. If you feel ready and if you feel like you created a space for the answer to enter, then go ahead and send your energy to the deck. And if you did not, go ahead and clear and send your energy to the deck. This is for you, this is for me, this is for we. It is for the individual as well as the collective. That full moon was a powerful one, you guys. It was the equinox and it was a supermoon, and everybody's still feeling the effects. So this is a very important reading here to wrap up a lot of what we just went through and are still going through. I know you're all feeling this equinox supermoon energy. All right, let's tie it up. I'll show you guys what it looks like. So I pulled 5 cards. All right. Wow, I just want to say, I only pulled 2 so far, and look what they are. 2 major arcana already. Past, future. Look similar? Oh yes. Immediately I see connections, and immediately I see power behind us and power ahead of us. There's a queen on top of us, on top of this whole reading. Fire and swords. Okay. So we have a 2 and a 3 in the center. We have a queen above them. We have the Hierophant in the past and Justice in the future. What does this all mean? Okay, what we're stepping out of right now is the Hierophant. And if you've been following the readings, the Hierophant has been coming up a lot. We've been recently going through this process of getting in touch with our inner guidance system, getting in touch with our heart's compass so that we don't fall victim to other people's beliefs that aren't necessarily for the highest good of the one. We spent time really refining our intuition, understanding that it's not all about old paradigm or new paradigm or judgments at all. It was really about releasing those judgments and being present, and in that space, finding the connection to our intuitive guidance system. Not judging words so quickly to be able to put them in either the category of old paradigm or new, but learning how everything has truth in it. And our perspective is the thing that is really the key. That is what we just recently have been going through. And we'll always go through this, each moment, because the Hierophant is a major arcana card, which means it's one of the major cards at the forefront of our tool belt. So this lesson, this archetypal energy is always present. It's, of course, always important to be our own inner teacher, to have that guru, that inner guru activated, to know that everything then is a reflection of that, and that there's truth inside of everything if we can just see it. But right now, the cards are telling us that we're specifically moving out of a phase where this was highlighted. This was at the forefront. So now we can finally say, all right, I'm ready to shift here and switch into a different archetype, which I'm going to talk about in a second, what we're heading toward right now. So we're leaving this in the past. We're moving toward the future. But before I talk about what the future card is, let's talk about the present. Where we're at right now as we step out of this, okay, so we just refined our intuitive guidance system, and it's brought us to this, the 3 of Wands. Wands is fire. It's the element of spirit. 3 is opportunities. While the 2 of Wands right before this dude here was all about checking out our opportunities, weighing our options, seeing what's available. Now it's about acting on those opportunities, taking action upon those opportunities that have been given us. But not just taking action, also really knowing that the ball is in our court and maintaining this awareness of our creative power and abilities so that we can delegate who needs to be where for what activity, including ourselves. So right now is a time for accessing opportunities. And because we're stepping out of this as our past, all the opportunities that are present are going to reflect to us just how far we have come on the path of getting in touch with our inner guidance system. The way in which we access these opportunities, and even the nature of the opportunities being offered to us right now, is all determined based on how much work we did in developing our inner guidance system. So if you did a really good job of doing that, the opportunities being offered to you right now are going to be ones that are going to allow you to express all of that learning you just did. And if you didn't do the work, well, there are just going to be that many more challenges. But it's still the same energy for all of us. We're all in this together. Okay, so all this work we did getting in touch with our inner guidance system, the inner mother and father, which I'm going to make a video about that tonight. Stay tuned. All that work, it's time to prove it. What opportunities are around us right now, and how are we accessing them? How empowered are we in our response to these opportunities that the universe is offering to us right now? How much are we maintaining the awareness that we really are the one in control here, other than the one? How much are we taking accountability and claiming our power and knowing that the ball is in our court as we access these opportunities? Okay, and as we access these opportunities, as we're in this present moment of accessing these opportunities, there's a challenge and a gift. And that challenge and gift also acts as the bridge to the future. So what is it? It's the Two of Swords. It's the card of indecision. Swords is the mind. It's the suit of air. And so it's about not being decided, but being okay with that. Because this is in the position of the challenge and gift of the present, what this tells me is that we feel a little bit unsure or undecided about our opportunities, the opportunities that are present, the opportunities that are knocking. We're not really sure which way to go yet. It feels like some opportunities will lead down this road and other opportunities will lead down this road. And because I'm not 100% sure which road I want to go down yet, I'm maybe not accessing these opportunities with the fullest confidence and with the fullest presence. I'm unsure. And that's okay. That's the challenge and gift right now. But because the only thing that's ever relevant here is our perspective and our response to the universe, we must know that all of the challenges we're going through as far as indecision are only trying to reflect back to us what we're really unsure of deep inside about ourselves. How are we dealing with the uncertainty? Are we breaking under the pressure of not knowing which way to go? Are we giving up our power to other people, maybe parents, friends, lovers? Are we giving our power to these people saying, shit, I don't know what I want to do, so I'm just going to let you make that decision for me? And what's more is, are we maybe even doing that unconsciously, subconsciously? Are we giving up our power with our full awareness? Or maybe are we giving it up and weren't even realizing it? But the point is, how are we responding to the indecision? When we feel the anxiety of these opportunities knocking and we feel pressured to make a decision, but I'm not ready yet, are we being gentle with ourselves? Are we remembering that the universe is giving us these opportunities of frustration or indecision or neutrality so that we can self-reflect? How are we dealing with the indecision? Are we cracking under the pressure? Are we being patient with ourselves? This is what we're going through right now as a collective and individually. And so as we go through these lessons and as we reflect upon our inability to decide just yet, or on our neutral position, something wants to be an ally. The ally card that was revealed is the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands wants to help us get through this period of uncertainty. The Queen of Wands is the water of fire. She's the heart ablaze. She is the heart of the spirit. And she wants us to really get in touch with our heart, listen to the advice of others, breathe in the advice, but only digest the advice that ultimately in your heart is for the highest good of the one. She's fiery, she's passionate, she knows what she wants. She's still wise enough to listen. She knows she has nothing to lose in hearing the advice of others, but ultimately she knows what she wants and needs. So this spontaneity, and I was feeling this energy before I started speaking about it, this spontaneity, I believe, is a key in this period of neutrality and indecision. Ultimately, there's going to come a point where we know, we have that feeling in our gut of like, okay, I know it's this way or this way, but every time I look this way, I feel it. It's about the feeling. It's about your emotions and your heart. Which way do you feel? Get out of your head, because this is swords, air, mind, indecision. And get out of that mental stuckness and into your heart. And when you feel like you are on fire with passion and you're really connected to your heart and you're allowing that to make your decision, then we'll be able to move ahead and access the opportunities that will carry us into the future. If you see, this is the card of the present, and this is the ally. They're both wands, they're both fire. So in order to access these opportunities to the fullest, we have to get past our mental stalemate here, this indecision. And the way to do that is to remember we are the Queen of Wands. We have all of these archetypes within us. How can you embody her wisdom right now to get in touch with your fiery heart, your heart on fire with your truest passion, to finally make the decision once and for all and access the opportunities, take action upon those opportunities that we know in our heart are meant to be accessed right now. And as we do this, as we finally break free from that uncertainty, not knowing which way to go, when we get in touch with our heart and allow that fiery energy to guide us forward, we'll begin to take action, access those opportunities, get things moving forward, and we will find ourselves in the future of the Justice card. Justice has been coming up again and again for my personal readings, for readings I'm doing for others, and also for these collective readings. Justice has been showing face again and again. What does this mean? It means we're moving toward a place of really manifesting the results of our inner balance. Finally manifesting a reality where we feel like, okay, the work that I've done has paid off. The scales are balanced. All the work that I did in the past has led me to a place where I want to be, a place of truth, a place of justice for one and for all. So we're working on that balance right now. And as you can see, it's like we have this balance card here and balance card here, but they're very different. So once we get over the challenge here, it becomes the gift. The challenge and the gift are one. So once we get over the indecision, it actually becomes very helpful, because then we end up choosing one side or the other, and that sword becomes our sword of truth. And only then, this challenge will become a gift, which then becomes the bridge, which leads us to the future. A real balance. Balance that is not just for yourself, but balance for the one and all. True balance, which is order, divine order. That's what the Justice card represents. Law and order in a way that is for the highest good of the one. Okay, so I'm going to summarize for those of you who just joined. I'm going to summarize from the beginning. It's just a 5-card reading here for the final quarter moon. We're stepping out of a time where we've done a lot of work specifically in refining our intuitive guidance system, getting in touch with our heart's compass. Now that we've done that work, we're ready to access the opportunities that are all around us. We're ready to take action. But we feel a little bit undecided right now. We're not sure which way to go because swords, mind, in our heads, we feel pulled to 2 different sides, or maybe many different sides. And in order to make a decision to go this way or that and really get out of our heads and into our hearts, the Queen of Wands shows up as our ally to remind us to get in touch with our fiery, passionate heart so that that can guide the way, so that the heart can get out of the way, so that the mind can stop pretending that it's uncertain when in our gut and in our hearts, we know which way we really want to go. Only then will we take the blindfold off, drop one sword, and carry the one that we know to represent our truth. When we do that, we begin to access new opportunities that are around us, accessing them in a way that's reflective of our most authentic self, our authentic self in touch with our heart. And then we can move forward to the truth and order for the one, justice, leaving this behind and moving to this. So what I'm taking from this is that individually and collectively, it's a time to stop pretending that we're so undecided, knowing that it's okay to be sometimes, but that it's always inevitable that we're going to come to a point of decision one way or another. So yes, be gentle with yourself. Yes, take all the time you need, as time is an illusion, right? Take all the time you need until you're really sure about the decision that you make. But ultimately, knowing that the decision must be made, that it is inevitable that we choose one path, it helps us to kind of get this thing going, you know? So now is the time to get out of our heads, get in touch with our hearts, our emotions, get that heart ablaze, Remember where our real guidance comes from. Remember that we can get lost in our heads often. Remind each other to get in touch with our hearts and go in the direction that we really feel pulled, from the place that is true. And what do we have to lose? We just did all of this refining as far as our heart's compass, right? We really strengthened our connection to our heart's guidance system. So we would be foolish to just stay here for too long undecided, to stay here for too long in our heads. Oh God, I don't know, this way or that, this way or that. Hello, remember, we just did all this work in getting in touch with our heart's compass, getting in touch with our own truth. The Queen of Wands is reminding us, hey, your heart is strong, it knows the way, get out of your head and into there. And then once we do, the indecision is cleared up, we'll know which opportunities to act upon, and those opportunities, only once we're clear and act upon them, those opportunities will guide us to justice for one and all. So until we get in touch with our own truth, and not with our heads but with our hearts, we're not quite ready to access the opportunities that are present. We're not quite ready, because we will have to go through more chaos. We will have to go through more crisis if we want to move ahead. So instead of doing that, right now we can remind each other to just get out of our heads and into our hearts. And then the opportunities that are meant to be taken right now for the highest good of the ones that will lead us here, will stand out. They will be at the forefront. It will be like all of a sudden everything else just crumbles away, and only that which is relevant for the highest good of the one will seem to pop out. And it simply will be just a reflection of our heart's vibration. Because once we get out of our head and this feeling of uncertainty and just surrender to the heart, a frequency is so strongly emitted in that moment. When we stop wasting our energy on, things that are not going to get us anywhere, and we just let it go for a moment and tune into our heart, all of a sudden, all of our awareness goes there, right? Energy flows where attention goes, right? So all of a sudden, our heart just goes, poof, and then that heart is what magnetizes those experiences in reflection of that love. So all of these opportunities that are surrounding us right now, although they may look good, bad, or whatever we're judging them as, until we get into our own hearts, it's all chaos. We're going to continue to be undecided. We cannot figure this out with the head alone. The king needs the queen. The crown needs the heart. Otherwise, there's no purpose for that crown. So when we get in touch with our hearts and individually and collectively, right? Individually and collectively build that frequency, that heart field, and project that outward, all of the opportunities beyond our judgment will rise up in their level of importance, in their priority order of importance as it relates to the highest good of the one. So let's not do more work than we have to here. Let's not complicate things more than they already seem complicated. Let's give it to the heart. Let's trust that now and always it remains true that the heart will know what to do, and the heart will rise up those situations that need our attention the most as they relate to the highest good of me and you as one. We don't need to make it more difficult than it already is. If we just go to the heart, it will show us the way. You may feel undecided on opportunities. You may feel like, oh, well, either way, if I take this opportunity or that opportunity, I'm missing out on something one way or another. But you're never missing out. It doesn't matter. Any which way you go, the ball is in your court, and you're going to make the most of it. And as long as you stay in tune with your heart, you stay there through any of those experiences, they're all bound to lead you down a magical road. As long as you know this. As long as you know this. If you don't know it, it will be quite the opposite. Any way you go will lead you down a road of crises. It's all in here. It's all in here. It's all in here. So rather than getting so in our heads about, oh, I don't know what decision to make because either way it's like lose-lose. How about win-win? How about win-win consciousness? Forget the lose-lose. You're going to create the magic either way. The more we focus on the thing we're going to miss out on, the less we're going to see the things that are there that are gifts in that experience. There's always going to be something to be sacrificed. But if we just continue to focus on the sacrifice, we'll never move ahead. Yes, we're always creating space, but for what? For something else greater than ever. So let's not get so stuck on the details of these situations. Let's remember the most important thing right now, which is getting rid of this mental fog and uncertainty. Going back into our hearts, individually and collectively, emitting a frequency from our hearts, creating a field that will magnetize to us those opportunities that are most important for all of our highest good as one. And instead of being sad about the ones that fall away, we can be so thankful because we know that even though the universe seemed to choose for us, and even though it feels like we're letting go of certain things, we know that the universe knows best. That there's a magical order to the chaos beyond our mental capacity to understand. And we know that whatever opportunities arise once we emit that heart frequency, we know that that one, whichever one shows its face, is the one that needs our attention the most so that we can all get here together. So don't be afraid of what will come up. Let's say you're like, okay, well, if I give up, all this mental fog, and if I just sit with my heart and surrender, what if I lose out on the opportunity that maybe I truly wanted? And what if I don't make the right decision? No, now you're falling into doubt and uncertainty. Now you're not getting the point. There can be none of that. There has to be full trust. Only then is the surrender 100% authentic. You know you're truly surrendering. You know it's an authentic surrender when those thoughts of doubt don't just creep right back in. When you stay strong in your trust and you remain in that heart space as the opportunities around you arise in reflection of what really needs to be done. And as you move through them, you don't grit your teeth. You don't get into a lower vibration and feel negative about the experience. You remember why you called this in, and you approach those opportunities with optimism and with trust and with faith, because the second you lose that, you're forgetting why we did all this in the first place. Don't regret the surrender. There's no one that we're surrendering to but the self. There's only one here. So once you make that decision to let go of the mind and surrender to the heart, once you make that decision, you got to know that whatever comes up first is for the highest good of the heart, the one heart that we all share. Don't run away scared the second something comes up that's difficult or uncomfortable. Remember that we called it in, individually and collectively. This is what we're doing right now. Don't forget. It's not about the experience being comfortable or uncomfortable. It's not about the experience being anything that we can think of as a judgment. The experience is not ours to judge. The experience is not ours to have expectations around. The experience is a divine experience that we are surrendering to right now, regardless of what it's going to look like, because we trust that whatever it does look like, it is still for the highest good of the one, and therefore it becomes irrelevant what our judgment of it is. We must remember why we called it in the first place and stay strong through it every step of the way. And then as we complete that first mission and the next one arises, we'll still be in our hearts. Therefore, that experience and the next experience and each one to follow after that will continue to be a reflection of that heart frequency that we are maintaining and emitting. Because there is no other way. If we just stay there and don't waver in doubt, then each thing that comes up is mission after the next for the highest good of the one. Thank you for tuning in for this reading. I really appreciate having your energies present, and I was considering stopping the live thing, but I really enjoy having your presence here, so thank you. If you don't already, please follow my YouTube. Just search Rebecca Magic and hit subscribe. There will be more to come. Thank you for doing your part and for serving the one in the way that you know best. I trust you. Every step of the way, I trust you. Even when you don't trust you, I trust you. I do. Thank you for doing whatever needs to be done so that we can start anew when the new moon comes. Thank you for sewing up the loose ends of this cycle, for allowing yourself to be okay with the indecision up until now. Whatever details of your life the indecision was about, it's okay. Thank you for forgiving yourself for being undecided for however long you needed to be, because however long doesn't matter. Even if someone sits on a decision for years, no regrets. Regret is the distraction. Regret is the thing that will keep us from truly moving forward. It doesn't matter how long we take to come to a decision. What matters is the actual decision and the process along the way, our perspective. So thank you for allowing yourself to be undecided and to sit with that and see how that feels. And then to get out of your head and into your heart. Thank you for getting into your heart. Remembering what really lights you up, your passion, as it is good for the highest good of the one, whatever that is that sets your heart on fire. And knowing that that heart ablaze will guide you to the opportunities that will nurture that heart, so that you can run with it and build more love from that heart space, so that we can ultimately move toward a future of justice where everybody is creating from that heart space together, individually and collectively, creating a reality where in harmony we can all continue on our individual and unique paths on this planet together as one, in a way that no one's hurting anybody else. Everybody's truth is freely able to be expressed. That's the reality that we're moving toward. Thank you for doing your part in that. I really look forward to this new moon and all the magic that is already here within us and all around us. I surrender to the knowing that there is so much magic still on the way. Ever more magic. I'm so excited. Thank you for taking this ride with me. Thanks for all the love. I appreciate you guys. If you missed any part of this reading, it's going to go up on the YouTube channel shortly here. There will be a new reading tonight on the channel. Sorry, not reading. There will be a topic on alchemical marriage and how to activate the inner guidance system within yourself, how to activate your inner Elohim, your inner mother and father, what that means when we activate it, what does that even do for us? If you're curious about this topic, how to activate the Elohim within you and initiate their divine marriage, then tune in tonight because there's going to be some pretty awesome stuff. Love you guys. Shalom.